Next on News Talk, AM 1480 WLEA, the Newsmaker Show with Kevin Doran.
Brian O'Neill in today for Kevin Doran. In today with Andy Mazzella, the former mayor of Hornell. He's representing now Catholic Charities. Also, Donna Mellenbacher of the Hornell Catholic Charities office. Andy, you work over in Bath, correct?
Right. Actually, I'm retired. I'm now a volunteer.
Great. Andy, glad to have you with us.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here, Brian. Thank you.
And Donna Mellenbacher, thanks for coming in today.
It's our pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Andy Mazzella, starting out with you, poverty it's an issue in Steuben County. What can you tell us about that?
Well, there's two problems, actually, Brian. Yep, there's widespread poverty and homelessness in Steuben County. It's a problem that we've had for years. It's a growing problem. And the other problem is that there is a general, I'm going to call it prejudice. There are myths and misconceptions about poverty in our community.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, it's not uncommon for people to say, yeah, we got 30,000 people in Steuben County that are living either in poverty or on the fringes of poverty, living in households that have twice the poverty level guidelines. And they say, if these people would just get off their duff and get a job, they wouldn't be poor. Well, it's not that simple. And I can tell you that the vast majority of people we see at Catholic Charities are living in poverty or in low-income households through false decisions that they did not make, circumstances over which they had no control. They're not gaming the system. They're not there as a result of their own poor choices with drugs or alcohol. Sure, there are some that do that, no question about it. But 30,000 people, roughly a third of our population in this county, are there because, A, they've got disabilities, they're physical or mental, they lack education, they've had catastrophic medical insurance or medical expenses, long-term unemployment. New York State Steuben County has consistently ranked among the highest counties in the state in terms of unemployment. Divorce, domestic violence, lack of reliable transportation, a lot of reasons why people just are struggling to get by. They're not living on welfare, as many people think. We've only got 1,500 people month after month in Steuben County that get any cash assistance at all from the county, and about 1,000 of those are children. So, when you're talking about 1.5% of the population that gets cash assistance, they get food stamps and Medicaid, sure, but earning an income of $300 a month or less might render a household ineligible.
So kind of what you're saying is this attitude of, hey, get yourself some rugged individualism. That doesn't always work.
It doesn't always work. Sometimes they can't help themselves, and they need a helping hand and not a handout. And I would say, who among us hasn't had a helping hand at some point in their life?
What about, you referenced a moment ago, welfare.
Yeah.
Is the welfare program enough for some of these people?
They are getting by and struggling. When you look at our children, one in five children in Steuben County are living in poverty. 50% of our students are eligible for free or reduced fee meals at school. The median family income in Steuben County is about $46,000 a year. Mm-hmm. We rank 47th out of 62 counties in New York State in terms of median family. Now, the poverty level for a family of four is $23,000 and change. Twice that is about $47,000. So when we say twice the poverty level for a family of four is $47,000, and the median household income in Steuben County is $46,000 and change, we don't live in a rich county. Most people we know are struggling day to day to get by. And welfare doesn't help them. We have programs that Donna will talk about. We do help people and get them back on the road to a steady income, and we're proud of that. We're proud of the results we achieve.
If I could ask Andy one more question before I move on to Donna for a moment. What about the argument, Andy Mazzella, that the jobs are there, go get a job?
Well, the jobs aren't there. The jobs aren't there. How many factories have we seen close in upstate New York in general and in Steuben County in particular over the last 4 or 5 years.
Right.
The manufacturing jobs are being outsourced to other countries. We've lost the bulk. The middle income, we talk about the decline of the middle income, it's because there are no jobs. And part of the problem, let's face it, is that the highest population living in poverty in Steuben County are households that are headed by a single parent. And too many times those households, those children, don't have the opportunity to get a further education beyond high school. And if you don't have a bachelor's degree these days, you're going to have trouble. You're going to be a low-income worker.
Donna Mellenbacher, how about the Canisteo Valley area?
In the western part of the county, where we serve out of the Hornell office, we have a food pantry. We help people with utilities, housing, transportation, prescriptions, a lot of different items like school supply drive. And we're very active. The community's very supportive of the services that we provide. But it's a busy day. People come in for emergency assistance for various reasons. Perhaps there was a death in the family and unexpected funeral expenses. Maybe the car needed repair and that
Sure.
they didn't have the money for that repair. An injury on the job and they don't have the income to support the family at this time. So we're there with the food pantry to help them, lessen that expense in the household. We're serving more than 150 people per week in our food pantry. And we're seeing new people in the pantry every week. So people are not coming week after week, year after year. We are serving new families every single week. Also, I would say that what we're seeing right now is an increase in the number of people that need utility assistance. Perhaps the cold winter that we had put them behind in utility bills, and the heating is going to be a real problem this fall. I'm seeing families with children who do not have their heat and hot water connected at this time. That seems to be a big increase. Big increase also this summer and during 2014 of homeless. People living in their cars. I'm hoping that we don't see this winter what we did last winter, and that was people who were being treated for exposure because of the cold and trying to make it by just living in their car. The idea that people are not working, we see people who are not only living in their car, but that's their transportation to work every day.
Sure.
So they are working, but that's where they're also living. We have prescription assistance, and when people lost their jobs at some of these local employers throughout the county, that did not decrease their blood pressure or diabetes problems, and they still needed the assistance with prescriptions. So we help people with that.
I wanted to ask you for a moment, Donna. Andy, a moment ago, referenced welfare. Andy, feel free to jump in here, too. You have to have a certain amount of wherewithal to, if you lived over in the Canisteo Valley area, to get over to Bath and fill out the forms and to stay on welfare. Now, some people would say, oh, come on, you got to be kidding. Well, it is possible that some of the people that you see are so out of it, and I'm talking brain damage victims, meningitis, whatever, encephalitis, they're so out of it that they really need a little bit extra help in filling out these forms. Would that be the case?
Certainly. In addition to all of the wonderful volunteers that we have that work with our programs, we also have a program that's called mentoring. And, for example, the veteran who comes home from active duty can't find a job, possibly is homeless, maybe the circumstances with the family has changed during his absence. A mentor really supports someone like that.
You see a lot of vets?
We do see some vets. I'll give you an example. We had a gentleman who came in on a Monday morning, homeless, without work, had to use just about every service that we could provide. By Friday of that week, with the help of a mentor, he was employed. He was in shelter. We helped him find housing, and he was just a different person in a week's time.
Donna, on the vets, tell us a little bit more about that.
Veterans who return from active duty quite often are facing several problems that they have to deal with. One, of course, is the high unemployment and trying to find a job. Perhaps circumstances changed with the family, and they're having to move out of their homes into a rental. Maybe there's been a breakup in the family situation. Certainly a lot of our veterans are suffering from depression, and there are some programs that have been ramped up to assist them, like we do have transportation available to get veterans to the VA in Bath, and we do whatever we can to help the veterans. Our mentoring program is really there to support veterans. As far as volunteers are concerned, we would welcome any retired veterans who would like to come in and work with these younger vets that are coming to us for these special needs. But they've been out there and they've served our country well, and now they're back, and they're facing a lot of problems.
Before we went on, you talked about the government cutting funding. Which branch of government, who's doing the cutting? Can you tell us about that?
Well, I think it's both the state and the federal government that are consistently looking for ways to balance the budget on the backs of the poor, unfortunately. But we've seen cuts in our housing assistance programs. We no longer get the money that we used to. For the last 2 years, we haven't got anywhere near the funds that we used to help homeless, and homeless is a growing problem. Donna has told you, and she can tell you more stories about it. Homelessness is a growing problem. And I mentioned earlier, the food stamps were cut last October. They're going to be cut again this October. That more and more people are losing the benefits, and that's one of the most effective programs that the government has, and those are federal funds. So we see instance after instance. The TANF program, the number of people receiving TANF is temporary assistance for needy families. Funding for that is reduced. So it's an ongoing effort to balance a budget, and unfortunately they're doing it with people that need help the most.
Okay, you used to be in politics, Andy. What do you see them spending on that they shouldn't be, and then they turn around and cut these poverty-type programs?
Well, I don't know if I... That's a tough question because I'm not close to it. But I think that there's got to be other big-ticket items that they could look at, and not just look at the people that don't have a voice. Poor people don't have lobbyists in Washington. That's one of the problems. Every other, the drug company, the oil company, big agriculture, the banks, the insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, all have lobbyists. Poor people don't have lobbyists.
We're talking with Andy Mazzella from Catholic Charities and Donna Mellenbacher from the Hornell Office of Catholic Charities. We'll be back in just a moment. Back on the Newsmaker Show, Brian O'Neill filling in today for Kevin Doran with Andy Mazzella and Donna Mellenbacher from Catholic Charities. Donna, financial counseling, this is something that your office can do to help people?
Yes, we do quite a bit of financial counseling. I would say in 2013, we served approximately 330 people with financial counseling. We help people to look closely at their budgets. We have referrals that we make for them to bring their budgets more into balance. Make referrals such as the Yes Careers program for young people between the ages of 16 and 21. Many people still do not have health insurance. That's a regular referral to make sure people are referred to health insurance. Some people are struggling simply because they don't have food stamps, and food stamps can prevent that heavy burden on them. So a lot of referrals are made, and some of those referrals can help them get back on their feet. We do a little housing counseling and also employment counseling. We have one person, an AmeriCorps worker, that works with people to look at jobs that are available in the area, to look at rental ads, and we want to make sure that all of their basic needs are met.
Now, Andy Mazzella, I'm sorry, go ahead. You want to make a point?
Well, Brian, I just wanted to say that we're very proud of the work we do and of the results that we achieve. We're also very economical. We need to be economical because the funding from state and local and federal government continues to decline. Program after program is cut. Food stamps were cut in October. They're going to be cut again last October. They're going to be cut this year with the new budget. So we're very proud of what we do with the money we have, and thanks to our volunteers, we can keep overhead costs down. Our overhead administration costs are less than 10%, and that is so that 90% of the money that we receive from individuals and from other agencies goes directly into funding programs. So it's economical and it's effective.
And this is for either Andy or Donna. Kevin Doran heard you at Mass a couple of weeks ago, Andy Mazzella. When you spoke at St. Anne's, what can people do to help Catholic Charities?
We have a wonderful core of volunteers at each one of our sites across the county. We have about 24 volunteers at Turning Point Hornell, about the same number of volunteers at Steuben County Rural Ministry. Volunteers help us in various ways. They help transport food that's donated to our pantry. They serve as receptionists, pantry hostess, fundraising, certainly outreach. We do have occasionally someone who needs the pantry that cannot get into the pantry, and we take food to them. There's a lot of different ways that people can support the programs by stopping in and sharing with us, how they would like to help. We had, just for the school supply drive, we had probably 10 to 12 volunteers that came together and pulled together over 300 school backpacks. We served out of the Hornell office 4 different school districts. The community was wonderful in supporting that drive. Many happy children that will be prepared for school because of that effort. And I would say thank you to the volunteers that supported that. But there's always a place for anyone who wants to come in and make a difference in a neighbor's life that's struggling at this time.
In a previous segment, you talked about poverty with the children. Is there anything that can be done about that?
It's an ongoing problem, and as we see more and more families that are headed by a single parent, the income levels for a single parent, a single mother, is about 50% of the median family income because of the issues of job or child care and getting to work and all the rest of it. I just think we need to be aware and more understanding. I think what I'm preaching is that we need to be more tolerant of people that are hurting. We can't be as critical and as judgmental, and help to understand. Once people have an understanding of the problem, they'll find a way to help. Sister Susan Kane's Rural Health Ministry, we're just delighted that she is now integrated with Catholic Charities and all the good work she's doing to help people. She does some back to school stuff. She's going to be doing a drive and looking for donations of just toothpaste and toothbrushes for kids.
Sure.
Just helping kids with basics and being a caring and loving adult to a child.
Are there any stories you can tell about poverty in Steuben County that might help our listeners understand the kind of things you're talking about?
I can tell you a woman that came into the Bath office a while ago, and she is working full time, and she was a single parent, and she said when she pays the rent and the utilities and buys the groceries and the daycare that she has about $5 left, and that she's struggling hard and working hard and falling short and needed some help and was embarrassed to be there.
Sure.
It's hard for people that have worked all their lives. Donna's seen people come into the pantry and cry because they've been supporting their family for 30 years and now they need help. Donna, I think you have something that you can add to that.
I think the community as a whole might be shocked at some of the things that we see. Some of the people, for example, will communicate. They know the best bridge in Hornell to sleep under. They know the best trash bin to find something to eat from. they know where to be safe as a group of homeless people. And these problems exist. We can't walk down Main Street in Hornell and pick out the homeless person. We don't know the person that we see walking across a parking lot that doesn't have the funding to help out their child, whether it's school supplies or food or shelter. But there's a lot of families struggling across the county who cannot meet their basic needs. And that's why Catholic Charities Steuben exist, is to help these families get back on their feet, to be able to provide for their families. And I would say the saddest eyes that I see come in are fathers, that they want to be able to support their children and provide for them, but at this time they're not able to do that.
Your thoughts about this anti-welfare mentality?
Well, it's some of it is born of fact. I think there are people that are scamming the system. There's no question about that. I can tell you they're the minority, not the majority. And the idea that people are getting fat out of feeding out of the public trough year after year, month after month, generation after generation, that's simply not true. In Steuben County, we have fewer than 500 people that are getting any cash assistance after 5 years, and they're mostly children. It's just not true. And too many, it's a prevailing attitude, and with some of our lawmakers in Washington that cut food stamps again and again and again because they're convinced that people are abusing them, misusing them, and it's one of the most effective programs that the federal government has to help people in need.
Donna Mellenbacher.
I would say that we see people that come in because they need our assistance, and we treat them with dignity, but they don't come in any more than they have to. We might see a person come in for a month and then not ever see them again. People have their pride. They don't want to have to rely on public assistance if they don't have to. So I think if we had more jobs throughout our area, we'd have fewer people coming in for help with their basic needs. Certainly jobs is a problem that we have in our area. And I don't believe that people want to rely on assistance for any longer than absolutely necessary.
Andy, a couple final questions. We've been talking with Andy Mazzella and Donna Mellenbacher of Catholic Charities. Andy, could you list off the locations in Steuben County for those listening who might need some kind of help or assistance?
Sure. In Bath here, our offices are at in Hornell, our offices here at 20 Elm Street, and the food pantry is open every morning and Thursday afternoon. In Bath, we're at 23 Liberty Street. That's right across from the Chadwell restaurant, where everybody knows where that is. We're right across the street from that.
And in Hornell, it's at the medical offices.
Right. And the pantry in Bath is also open every day from 9 until noon. And then afternoon, other assistance by appointment, but the pantry is closed. And in Corning, we're at 33 West William Street, and we share space there with the Corning Community Food Pantry.
Sure.
And or you can go online to our website and look at the services that are available and the addresses and the phone numbers. And we would just urge people, if they need some help, give us a call, come in and see us, and we'll see what we can do. And we can't help everybody, unfortunately. Our resources are restricted to
sure.
some, but we do our best to make sure that we either help them or refer them to another agency or group that can help them.
And is there any number that people can call if they want to donate to Catholic Charities?
They can call in Hornell, the 324
3457.
3457. In Bath, it's 776-8085. And the Corning number I don't have right off the top of my head. But there again, if they went to our website, which is CatholicCharities.org, CatholicCharitiesSteuben.org, they can donate there, and they can get more information on what we're doing, and they can find out more about volunteering to help the cause.
So CatholicCharitiesSteuben.org in Hornell 324, was it 3457?
Correct.
And in Bath 776-0845?
8085.
8085.
Right.
776-8085 for Bath. In Hornell, 20 Elm Street, the medical offices, and in Bath, 23 Liberty Street.
And we also have a Facebook page.
Okay.
They can get on our Facebook page and see what's going on there.
Great. Andy Mazzella of Catholic Charities, Donna Mellenbacher, also of Catholic Charities, want to thank you very much for coming in today.
Kevin,
Thank you. It's a
Brian,
pleasure to
thank
be
you
here.
very much. I appreciate your help.
Thank you very much. News is next here on AM 1480 WLEA Hornell.